we kind of need to start with, I think I'm going to sue somebody. I just don't know who. There are scars, and many of you have them, from the Atlanta airport experience on Monday. As I sit here, or folks, I think Jack pulled this up. There's pictures of the lines yesterday in the airport. I tweeted out something about it. I must admit I don't love guy or gal who's rage tweeting their travel experience, because it's sort of like, I get it sucks, but what do you want us to do about it?
Yeah.
Yesterday, there were, give or take, the Mercedes-Benz Dome Stadium, whatever, holds about 72,000 people. All of them were in the airport yesterday morning, and we were all in it together. And it was a scene unlike, and I've never seen anything like it. And of course, when you tweet that out, there's always, all people on Twitter. Well, you've never seen this airport. I've been to airports in the UK.
Why don't you have Clear and TSA?
Have both. Son of a gun, I didn't think of that. I'm just over here helplessly wandering with my boarding pass. Wait, there's a whole, what's Clear? We had it, it didn't matter. Do a Twitter search. Look at what you see. There were thousands of people wandering with no direction, no idea where to go or what to do. We were all just moving in unison together. Thousands of people. And I can't figure out, for those of you that say, well, that's just a normal Tuesday in the Atlanta International Airport, I promise you it's not. You love to talk about it's the busiest airport in the world. You know what it would be? Not that, if it was like yesterday every day, because no one would fly out of your airport ever. And I blame myself, because many years ago I was at the Super Bowl in Detroit. That was Pittsburgh, Seattle.
It's the worst. Day after the Super Bowl is the worst.
And that's why I don't go to Super Bowls anymore. You fly out the day after the Super Bowl and you say to yourself, well, there'll be no more of this.
3 p.m.
And I just haven't done it since. The veteran move is to leave in advance.
Dang.
Always fish. You see all these people coming in and you're walking out. I've said this line. You've heard me say it. That always some fan goes, Scott, you're going the wrong way. And I smile and go, no, I'm not. I'm doing the veteran play here. I just, to anyone that lived it, the look of just resignation, the grim, just, you're resigned to your fate. There's nothing you could do. They're several hours early because you knew it would be bad. Didn't make any difference. There was no getting through those lines. If it snuck up on you all at the airport, shame on you. If you just can't handle that many people, then you shouldn't be allowed to have that many people fly out at the same time. Figure it out. The good news for me is I was on an earlier flight, which meant that there was a flight behind that I got to be on. The bad news for me was that Steve was on that flight. Somehow, I want to give a shout out to my girl, Dawn Wynn. You know who you are. Genius travel cheat code, the best. Dawn, any chance, hold on. Somehow gets me a seat on the flight that you're on. That was the 1150.
What seat?
Lucky enough to be flying in a comfortable wide seat up front going out. We got 30A going home. Better than a middle seat, but that's in the back up against the window. And it meant that I had to walk past Steve on my way to the back. And as we're getting on the plane, and we're all in this together. There's a million Notre Dame fans, a million Ohio State fans. We're all making the best of it. Everybody, considering how fights could have broken out, everybody was really in pretty. It was communal. We were in this together. But as I got ready to go on the plane, I said to Steve, if you start laughing at me when I walk past you and start taking pictures of me, I swear to God, I'm going to ball up my bony fist and I'm going to punch you in the head. And so I get on, and one of the best things about Steve is this infectious laugh that you hear. But you see the joy in his face as I go wandering past to go to the back. Boy, it was. Listen. At that point, I would have ridden the overhead. I was just so happy I was going to get out. There are people still tweeting as we talk on a Wednesday. What's the day? Wednesday. Wednesday. Yeah. They're still there because you couldn't make it through the line to get to your flight, and then everybody's in the same boat, and all the flights going out later are filled. And then I guess there was weather. I don't know if it snowed there. It's incredible. It snowed a foot in New Orleans.
Yeah.
The video of the places down south is incredible, the snow. I guess it snowed some in Atlanta, and all it has to do is threaten snow that it's crippling. But there's still people there tweeting, and my heart goes out to you. I got out. Small price to pay to have Steve heckle me. This man brought me a slice of Sbarro, and it was like manna from heaven, and the coldest Diet Coke I'd ever had.
Yep.
That's all I needed to get me through. So I just want to say, buddy, thank you.
You got it. I had a different frame of mind because I never take the first after a big event like that. I remember Super Bowl there, believe it or not, it was worse. We were waiting outside, but the TSA clear, Sky Priority, whatever, there you weren't as long of a line. That was, the regular general admission, whatever you want to call it, that was out on the streets, but it's still mind-blowing to see. So I take a later flight all the time. I think this was, 11:20, and then I wake up to text from you, get here, it's the worst I've ever seen. Other texts from other people that went early, trying to get early flights, they didn't get them. So I'm like, all right, I'll put a little pep in my step. I've seen this airport as bad as you're saying it is, and I'm upset because our guys always say do the international thing because you do that and then you take the tram inside. I was like, maybe I could do it before I go see it and then go do it, but no, that's too far because it's literally miles away. But I have this inner confidence in me that they have gone through the worst that I don't have. It's only going to get better when you have that many people. And I get there, they're opening things up. And luckily there was a lady clear TSA, and it was just opening. Boom, we get there. The issue is when
good for you, bud.
When you get there and you still see machines open. You know what I mean? Like the security thing. And like there's just people in blue shirts all over. I'm like, why isn't everything open right now? That's what I don't understand. You have people just standing, and I get it. They got to monitor if there is something in the bag. But the whole order of process, and I do it every single week, and I still question how it's done. Then as I'm about to finally put my bags through, one of the blue shirts walked up to the guy that just took my ID, and he's like, what do you think? Should we close it now? And I'm like, these guys are making decisions?
Yeah.
So I know I'm going to make my flight. I get it. It's been a horrendous day. But then I get a text from you, and I'm like, oh, man, he's going to be on the same flight as me. And he sends me the seat number. And I'm like, I can't stop laughing. I'm laughing through the bag, and I'm like, all right, we're at whatever it was, C46. And I'm just giggling the whole way because I'm like, what am I going to walk up to? So then I walk up, and you're in line with about 12 other people trying to upgrade their seat. And, of course, no one's at the desk.
No.
And we're like a half hour, 20 minutes before boarding.
Fine. We'll figure it out.
And then you say, don't talk to me. I don't want to see you. I said, you want a slice of pizza? You said yes. So I went and got a slice of pizza and a cold Diet Coke.
Oh, so good.
But I just...
It was complete systemic failure. Breakdown. Me and Matt Berry get there at the same time. And if you know the Atlanta airport, there's like, it's an open space, and then there's kiosks everywhere because now, whether it's grocery stores or airports, they want you to do their work for them. They want you to check yourself out at the grocery store. They want you to get your boarding pass or check your bag. That's on you to do. And it was basically in that airport yesterday, if you walked in the wrong door, you just were at the back of the line because it was just a funnel. There was no order to this process. So me and Matt are like, there was no idea of a line. There was just a mob of people. And I look at Matt and I'm like, we got to audible. And we just started moving down towards what looked like where you could get through, because you realized if you came in like one gate down or one entrance down closer to where the line started, those people were just going to funnel into the mob of people, which is what they did. So we did that, but we weren't cutting a line because there wasn't a line to be on or in, depending on where you're from in the country, and if you say online or in line.
Did you go around where the turn was, where they were giving out water?
There was no water.
Oh, there was water when we had there. That's where we might have made a move.
Way to go. Listen.
I did ask you too. On Sunday, I said, hey, might be some weather.
Yeah.
Tuesday in Atlanta.
Yeah.
After an event.
Yeah.
And you said, thinking about getting one of those planes.
We tried.
Will you ever not get another one of those planes?
What were the last 2 words of the text that I sent you, Steve?
Never again.
That's it. There'll be no more of this. I want to make it clear. I like to think of myself as a man of the people. I will admit to the fact that we get really spoiled the way we travel to Monday Night Football. Shout out to our friends at Wheels Up. You fly on one of them planes, as Steve calls them, the PJ Life. It's just you and the bird. Plane takes off when you get there. Nothing spoils you worse. Nothing. Because that's the way that people travel. And I'm used to that. I did that. Now I've been really spoiled.
And the plane leaves when you get there.
Correct. There's no, hey, I spent 2 hours in the line. And this is my favorite part. I haven't told it, but I'll tell it. I was going out of gate A6, and I'm just like, look, after I finally get through this line, and I'm like, well, the plane takes off 5 minutes ago, but you never know. You got to go to the gate. And I'm running. I'm running. And I'm running, and I'm wearing a big, heavy overcoat, and I'm schwitzing. And I get to A6, and as I'm getting to A6, I start slowing down because I see that the thing doesn't say Washington, it says Dallas-Fort Worth. And I get there, I look, and it's the guy, I'm like, Washington? He's like, oh, that plane's been going. And now I just sort of spin around in a circle, and I just go. And it's at that point that I realized I'm 6'6", I don't blend in well, and I realize there's a lot of people looking at me, and you kind of feel like, oh, that probably wasn't the way to go. And then I just went over and I just leaned up. Wait, I went to the Delta thing for some help. And she's like, you got to put your name in. I'm like, okay, put my name in. You're 51 in line. I'm like, I literally just lean up against the wall and I slide down. I forgot to bring my good shoes. My good airport shoes. I got on dress shoes. I got on some fancy Tom Fords. So I look like a crazy European wearing like regular pants but fancy boy shoes. My bags are all asunder. I'm laying down. I'm just screaming obscenity in front of everybody. I'm 51 in line, and I'm like, I start firing off texts to bosses. I'm never going to make it for the TGL tonight. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. And it's at this point that I say, never again. From this point forward, it's the PJ life for me exclusively. That's it. That's not true. Can't afford it. I'm not a rich guy. But yeah, it was a scene, man. It was a scene. Some guy tweeted to me, I saw you on the ground in the fetal position in the A gate. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. You know that whole not the fake, like, where in the world? Where in the world? It was me laying down with my crap everywhere. And at that point, I'd given up. The will to live had left me.
That's exactly what I was thinking as I was walking up to the gate. I'm like, how many people are going to be not the fake? And the first guy I see, and it's far, but I see a guy reading a book, and I'm like, that sure as hell ain't him.
No, sir. I did not have inner excellence out with highlighted passages.
I just...
Oh, God.
My favorite part was as we start to board, and I'm in zone 1, and I'm like, what zone are you? And you look down at your boarding pass. He's like, 5. So as the people were boarding the plane, I'm like, are you guys zone 5? I'm like trying to wait. And then two guys that saw us talking, he's like, oh, he's coming. He's right behind us and he's coming for you. I'm like, sweet.
And then
give me another screwdriver.
And then when they came, they had to get the jaws of life to get me out of my seat because I'm wedged in there against the window like this. And they come and they extricate me. By the time I got off the plane, he's already on an Uber on the way home.
See ya.
He sends me a picture. I'm in a car on the way home. So, if you're still in Atlanta, God bless you and good luck. We made it out only because I had the incomparable Dawn Wind travel savant who somehow got me 30C. I was grateful to have it. Matt Berry made it to Palm Beach Gardens
last night.
We were like, and I made it there as well. But literally, we're together, and at some point, we were like on Titanic together. I was like, I'll never let go. And then somehow we both made it on a lifeboat and made it out. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how anyone made it anywhere yesterday in Atlanta. Holy smokes, that was something.
I was in front of a woman who had the digital thing, and she's like, I'm like, because I just kept asking, I'm like, I got clear TSA. It's got to be better than what that is over there.
Nope.
And I'm like, how are you? I'm like, you're not fretting at all? You're not nervous? She's like, no, the heat went out in my Airbnb, so I got to the airport early, and boy, am I glad I did. I'm like,
wow.
Good move for you.
Again, and I'm sorry to do this to the folks for whom it is the cheat code, but as we've established, I'm never doing this again, so I just want to help those that are. If you ever have a situation a day after a giant event, the thing to do is to go through the international check-in, because you bypass all this, and once you're past that and you get on a tram, you just get on the train and go to, welcome to the Orlando International Airport. Next stop, B-Gate.
That tram does nothing on it. I looked at it. Nothing says international. Like, that's a pretty nervous thing to do for the first time.
Yeah, but once
you just try it once.
I don't know what.
You're not going to, because you don't have to.
No, never again. There'll be no more of that. All right, thanks for listening to the pod. Are you guys going to get to the foot? Yeah, eventually.
Oh.
It was a scene. It was a scene. And anyone that lived it's like, yep. And those that didn't are going to just say it was a normal Tuesday. Okay, no. Sure it was. You're right. We should have gone to the TSA pre-check with the 0 line, and we'd have been fine. There were no cheat codes.
Shout out to the people that had kids, too. I can't.
Yeah, there was that line where, like, if you had a disability or a child, you could go through. And I was thinking, listen, I'll grab a kid and walk him through. Hey, buddy, you want to? But hey, come with Uncle Scott. We're going to take a walk. Bring your parents. They can walk behind us.
And then I also think of the people that did like curbside check-in, check their bags, their planes are gone, and they got stuck in Atlanta. That's awful.
Yeah, so it's you don't want to be separated from your bag. Whatever. Okay. Sucked. Somehow we made it. Shout out Sabora. I was a hell of a slice, by the way.
They don't mess around.
And then that's why I didn't punch you in the head, because you saved me.